Ashe to all the primordial souls on the hero's journey. Welcome back to the Black Hole Chronicles. We're going to be reading out of the book Kundalini, Evolution and Enlightenment by John White. And we're going to be reading from this excerpt speaking about all the chakra centers. The two lowest centers are grouped together because they represent the most primitive expressions of energy in states of consciousness that are most closely tied to the physical world. They are linked to the basic instincts for individual and species survival. When energy is focused in these centers, pure consciousness is obscured and the individual identifies with the grossest material plane of existence. These chakras have the quality of tamas, inertia, or torpor. And we can correlate these two lower centers to hell or Sheol or lower Egypt that we hear out of the Bible. And this is the mammal instincts and the animalistic nature of man. And this is why you get the Baphomet photo being as having the animal head and the man body. Being able to master the animalistic nature of man and raise up the consciousness up the spinal cord and get to the crown chakra and be able to have the pure consciousness existence. We can also correlate this to the reptilian brain and the root chakra being blocked. And this is where you get the hell existence. The second two chakras located at the solar or cardiac plexus represent a turning to more subtle relationships with the world. There is an active involvement in trying to organize organs and make sense of the world and to interact on a less physical plane than in the case of the first two chakras. This is again raising the Kundalini up the spinal cord. There is a focus on the building up and expansion of one's sense of I-ness, the complete connection to all. The predominant characteristic is that of Rajas, expansion and activity. Once again, the torus field contracting and expanding. The two chakras that correspond to the cervical and pituitary centers in the human body represent a movement away from worldly relationships to a world of pure form, bringing heaven on earth existence. Here one perceives and relates to the underlying forms from which the material universe comes. One who is operating at these levels exhibits creativity, intuition, and wisdom. His manner is predominantly sattvic, serene, and devotional. Once again, wholehearted soul searching. You owe it to yourself to give yourself this perfection, these highly advanced states of pure consciousness and healing in a heaven-like paradise, serene, nirvana-like existence. There is a series of still more subtle chakras above the ahana or pituitary center, culminating in the center of pure consciousness at the crown of the head. This is the abode of Shiva, pure transcendent consciousness in each individual, the fractal universe, the fractal consciousness of pure consciousness. This center is named Sahasrara, the place of luster. Interesting how it has the word Ra in it for Ra, the Ra life force, the prana, the breath, the ether, the kether. Its corresponding cosmic plane is called Chandra, Loka, the world of nectar, the Christos oil that secretes from the pineal gland. Ordinarily, the individual is polarized neutrality, with Shiva residing at the crown chakra and the latent power of Shakti, Kundalini, lying dormant at the base of the spine. Only the smallest bit of Shakti's energy becomes dynamic and functions in the chakras and nadis, subtle nerve channels, in order to maintain the ordinary functions of the individual. The central nervous system, once again, connecting and expanding to all the nature, Netzeru, of the solar system and beyond, being in full flow state with the cosmos. That such an infinite reservoir of energy exists is not even imagined by official science. It is traditionally thought that Shakti contains not only latent energy, but also latent memories, both personal and transpersonal. This is where we get into you being the walking Akasha records of pure consciousness and being able to tap into the 0 point and pure consciousness within and the Akashic records within, and being able to truly understand and explore pure consciousness and the cosmos, the subatomic, subconscious cosmos within. The modern way of understanding this latent power is in terms of the unconscious. Like Shakti, the unconscious is conceived of as a vast, unknown power. This is the most powerful energy in eternity. Those individuals who have controlled access to the unconscious experience an abundance of energy, insight, and creativity. The genius, higher levels of pure consciousness and advanced intelligence. So it is with the latent power of Shakti, those who transform this force from its latent to its active form become the dynamic geniuses of every age and culture. Tahuti, wisdom, Hermes, Trismegistus, higher levels of consciousness and thought patterns. This transformation is called the awakening of Kundalini. Usually, this is depicted as a sudden, intense, earth shaking, and transforming experience, vibration, frequency. But such an experience is rare. It is more usual for tiny bits of this energy to be released through various means over a period of time, the alchemical process. One then experiences breakthroughs, bursts of energy, electrocution, and enthusiasm, peak experiences, a sense of well being, and similar changes in consciousness. This is analogous to what happens in psychotherapy as bits of the unconscious are brought into one's awareness. Sounds like magnetism, electromagnetism, the receiving feminine aspect of this divine Kundalini energy. Once again, getting back into the great mother matriarchal energy of the soul, the spirit, the Shekinah, the wisdom. Occasionally, there are more startling breakthroughs in which a significant quantity of the latent power is released. This leads to more unusual experiences, which will later be described. Supernatural miracles and experiences that we are going to, once again, the DNA transforming, the 369 DNA transforming and upgrading itself to higher levels of pure consciousness. The practice of Kundalini Yoga involves not only awakening this Kundalini Shakti, but also systematically leading her through each of the chakras to the Sahasrara or crown through each of the chakras. Through each of the chakras to the Sahasrara or crown chakra, the abode of Shiva, the seat of the soul, the throne of God. The word yoga means union, the sacred union. And this union can be understood as the uniting of Kundalini Shakti with Shiva, pure consciousness. That is the solar eclipse, as within, so without, as above, so below, as with the universe, so with the soul. This is the divine sacred union and marriage of the masculine and feminine energy. This is the androgynous energy. This is the Israel energy and being reborn as the soul as the soul, the Merkaba, and the new light body consciousness that can operate at higher levels of consciousness through the five sensed vessel. When this is achieved in the individual, he becomes fully conscious. There is no longer an unconscious or latent power. The individual is fully awakened and illumined. When the static Shakti becomes dynamic and travels upward, fully energizing each of the centers along the way, the polarization of the body gives way and one attains the highest state of samadhi. Consciousness of the body is withdrawn. When Kundalini Shakti sleeps in the Mohaldra, man is awake to the world. When she awakes to unite and does unite with the supreme static consciousness, which is Shiva, then consciousness is asleep to the world and one is with the light of all things, being connected to eternity at all time. As a static power, Kundalini sustains consciousness of the world, but when she unites with Shiva, she loses consciousness of the world and goes to a state of consciousness without object or form. When she is aroused and moves upward, Kundalini withdraws into herself the dynamic forces that maintain the body, the full Netaru consciousness. This is the reverse of involution of consciousness involving itself in the universe. It is a process of evolution in which the human being comes to realize his full, limitless potential. The final goal of the yogi is to dissolve the universe and abide in that state of pure consciousness. That is the flow state we are all searching, yearning, and seeking for. Outwardly, the body may seem no longer to be alive, but it continues to function minimally so that it can again be used as an instrument of the individual who has temporarily left it. The body may even become cold as a corpse. It is said that the union of Shiva and Shakti generates a nectar that continues to sustain the body in this superconscious state. Bro, this shit is crazy. It is said that the union of Shiva and Shakti generates a nectar, the mercury, that continues to sustain the body in this superconscious state. This union is the goal of the aspirant, but few achieve it. It is more common, although still rare, for the yogi to awaken Kundalini Shakti and lead her only part of the way toward her goal. The final goal of the yogi is to dissolve the universe and abide in the state of pure consciousness. Embrace, embody, enlighten. I appreciate everybody's time. Keep soul searching with everything you got inside of you, within you, and all the Kundalini force and eternal flame that is sparking up within us all, that is rising our energy up the stairway to heaven and allowing us to bring heaven on earth as a full, united, pure consciousness of genetics. Ashe.